I believe Africa must find a way for Africa to work with Africa. And when I say that, African Airlines with African Airlines, African tourism boards with African tourism boards, African press with African press. So we have a wholesome approach to face these difficult, challenging times that the world is facing today.
It is important that we do not lose focus as Africans.
So what Africa needs to do, for me, is to carry more of African passengers within Africa and increase the percentage of the market.
Our coming here was intended to position you as players in the industry, to position Uganda as the #1 tourist destination.
This has been a very successful event, and Uganda Tourism Board, we are promising to do it better in 2021.
So right away, I will go to Peter, this time Mwanja. Yes, you observe, certainly we are numbered in this room. We have ideally been full in number. COVID has impacted us. COVID has introduced new dimensions of doing business. What is your view? What are your, what can you share with the people, the people out there on the challenges, the impacts, and how do we take MICE as a business after this COVID? What is that we need to do? Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you everyone who's here. I'll start with the challenges that we are facing in the advent of COVID. First, in our households, we've lost touch. We all used to travel, we used to meet, we used to hug. It doesn't happen anymore. That comes with a lot of lost jobs. It comes with a lot of bad social media. We've come up to a time where a lot of platforms are reborn and people are giving us false news. If somebody, for example, goes onto social media and says, Uganda had 100 deaths of COVID today, it brings to a cancellation of all the business that we've had in the line. So yeah, we've had a lot of youth and women running unemployed. We've had the birth on the positive side of hybrid events. So now we can have meetings with people that we can't see or that we can see online, which is not really what we're used to. So it's given us a lost time. It's given us a lost touch. We've had business cancellations. And that means that even the taxman, for example, does not have anything to take away. So yeah, COVID has brought a lot of unprecedented challenges, and unfortunately we have to work through that. Now, where do we want to go working through the challenges that COVID has brought us? We are now looking on the domestic market. We're looking at incentives and we're looking at the corporate market. We have to harness our corporate companies here and take them, for example, into Lake Victoria. We've got to harness our corporate markets to have conferences here rather than travel. So that is one way that's going to reignite our recovery. We are going to have to look at African solutions and create domestic solutions. Right now, as we speak, about 24% of Africa is under lockdown or inaccessible to travel. That means that if you have a client that is coming through Kenya and Tanzania and end up into Uganda, Kenya is closed. We can't have that person here because the circuit is broken. That's the impact. When Kenya coughs, Uganda is sneezing. So we've got to harness incentives and corporates. But we also have to find ways of salvaging lost conferences. A lot of them had been booked to be in 2021. We now have to try and get the organizers to bring them back, even if it is 2023. That's keeping us very busy. But we also have to do a lot of collaborations. We're now dealing with an African solution. As I said, 24% of Africa is closed. So the other 76 is open. We need to lobby, we can lobby the other open 76% to come here. We're after all able now to do hybrid. We're now able to sit like we're sitting now. So that's not a lost opportunity. We can tap into that. But also, most importantly, in the wake of this COVID, because it's still here, we have to revisit the true value of our destination, the destination of Uganda. There's a lot that even the domestic market does not know. So things like the Lake Victoria, the River Nile, things like the lodges that we have in our national parks. This is what we have to reinvent. Of course, on top of the hotels like the Sheraton that we're in now, we've got to revisit and rebrand the country. This is the only way we shall reboot tourism, I think, across all Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much for bringing out those key issues. How do we, at the moment, leverage on the MICE in the COVID, igniting incentives for the corporate organizations, salvaging the lost conferences to give hope to the industry, building a lot of collaborations, very important points put out there. The questions around here are, how do you prepare yourself to move to the next step? How do you cost a live event? How do you make money? Those are some of the key questions that will be coming back to you as you think. How does a MICE player here, like yourself, who is an event organizer, make money through an hybrid event? How do you make money? Those are some of the key questions that are coming back to you. We are saying, yes, let's move. It's very easy to say that, but how do we move? What are the enabling instruments, environments that needs to be created to make you as an event organizer a real embrace the technologies and make money? We have come, we are virtual now. What are the challenges? How can we, should we continue with this kind of virtual expos, virtual experiences? This is Mwanja Peter. What do you have to say? And what is it that is unique that we should be keeping in the face of our next customer out there, especially when we have such events?
Thank you. First of all, I need to reiterate that Poate comes to help us recover, reboot, and reconnect. But then again, as the players, both private and government, we need to bounce back better. What do I want to say? Right now, I'll tell you, I miss the air conditioning. We used to book hotels knowing if I go to the Sheraton, the whole is going to be chilled and very nice. I miss it. But what do we pick out from this? We pick out things like we have to be more careful who we invite and where we take the people. That's giving us the challenge. And where that comes in is that today, you'll find that a lot of us investors have learned that tourism or MICE is not the only way to survive. So we're going into other sectors. Others are going into agriculture, but linking agriculture into MICE. Because you know that we have working farm groups. You go to your farm, put a cottage, and do MICE there, do tourism there. So we're adjusting into a lot of avenues where we can make money and keep the tourism coming. I also want to add that before 2020, we had a lot of bookings coming, especially for MICE, the business groups. Many of them have postponed. But still, because of activities and events like Poate, we have bookings that are coming. Some of them are really inquiring, but they're not ready to commit. They will commit. We can see 2022 and 2023 having a big influx of travelers, business travelers especially, wanting to visit Uganda. How do we make sure that we bounce back better? How do we ensure and assure them that we've got the space? You want to look at a place like Makison. We got a group of Israelites in 2018. They were, I think, 400, and they each needed their own room. We couldn't raise those rooms. Now it's a time for us to rethink and make sure that when tourism finally opens, we have space and we can achieve. But now that we have hybrid is probably the next thing, and I think that next year probably we'll have a hybrid event. But that's only giving us hope. It's only giving us the hope that things will get better. What we have to plan out today is how do we get out of this stronger with all the connections that we're getting out of Poate, with all the investment opportunities that we are opening up to the world. Because now we have, like Barbara said rightly, Uganda Airlines has opened up. We'll be flying into London this year probably. That is an infrastructure that's going to help and make life easier for our travelers. We have to be ready for that. But we also have to tell everyone the truth, that these facilities are available and Uganda is ready. So we're having to play a match and mix kind of game. And that's where we're going. So hybrid is going to bridge the gap in the interim, but in the long run, we've got a lot to think about.
Thank you so much. You're going to give us your parting shots. Barbara's talked about creativity outside city for events. I want you to, just make that very strong. Someone asked me, why don't we have Nyege Nyege in Jinja? Why don't we have a very good event around the Crater Lakes in that area? Because it's a very, very nice place. I want you to make that a bit stronger in terms of how we can actually do more events and drive numbers into some of our properties and also make some money. And given the fact that Ugandans love actually events, they love entertainment, they love most of these things. Yes, Peter, what would be your last parting shots, but also make that bit a bit strong? Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you. Richard, I'm having an amazing time at Poate, which is why I want to say thank you to UTB and our organizing committee. I've had at least 30 appointments on the Hover app, an event that's going to even be taking place in Kenya, who's on the platform that there's a lot of opportunities that we shall catch. Thank you again, UTB, for organizing that. Coming into the events, Uganda probably hosts one of the biggest social events in East Africa, which we all know about, the Nyege Nyege. And it happens in Jinja. When it's in Jinja, all the hotels are full, all the campsites are full, people even sleep in their cars. But it's been pulled off over 4 years now. We've got a big chance to do many others. We've got a lot of islands where we can go. The Sese Islands, I was told the other day, there's over 70 of them. And all of those are very, very nice places that we can go and pull off events. It's one of the opportunities that Uganda has to present. And that's also a very good business opportunity for any investors out here, both local and foreign. Uganda should be looked at now as a destination that we can all come to. People who come to Uganda don't want to leave. So it's one number that I should give to everybody. That when you come to Uganda, like Barbara said, the safari bag is worst of all. So yeah, everybody that's coming into Poate, make sure you come and visit. Poate is going to be an annual event. Maybe we shall replicate at the end of it one of the Nyege Nyege kind of events, so that we can show the world that we are better and bigger.
Thank you, thank you.
But as we go, Uganda now has a fully fledged convention bureau that sits at the UTB. And under that, we have a private sector organization, UAKI, which my brother Peter here chairs, the Uganda Association of Conference and Incentive Industry. That association is what everybody in Uganda that wants to do an event that wants to hold a conference, that wants to manage one, that's the association that everybody should come to. We have also extended a hand to all those intending members or those who want to join, that this year we don't have the annual subscription fee. So you've got the chance to come and just register and get accredited, and we bounce back better. We reboot tourism, we reboot business tourism. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Peter has actually made a call to all of you who want to be PCOs, DMCs, event hosts, to come and register and be part of the professional group that is looking out for management and organization of events in Uganda, UAKI. Thank you very much, Peter, for that call, and ably also recognizing the role of UTB in making this happen. And I would also want to say that Peter has been the chairperson of Powate. So Peter, thank you very much. I think now, right there, people, you're very happy that this event has taken off. We had so many questions. Can a virtual event be? But we are finally there. Peter, thank you very much for your effort.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you aware that the Powate platform is going to remain open for another 6 months? That means that everyone that is registered on that platform will continue to engage with those hosted buyers for another 6 months. So the success we registered today is just the beginning. We have another 6 months, and I encourage all of you to continue engaging. Some of you are not able to tune into the seminar sessions. We had a lot of insightful presentations made by our MDRs from the different markets. Please tune in and get some information of the different markets so that you identify where you're best fit to trade. If you're trading in the American market, get more information about China, get information about Japan, so that you assess your current positioning as a business and find the right market for you to trade. They say behind every successful man is a woman. But who is behind every successful event? Any wild guesses? It is the National Organizing Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome the chair of the National Organizing Committee for Powate 2021, Mr. Peter Mwanja. That is joined by other members of the committee present. I request that Mr. Peter Mwanja is joined by other members of the committee present as he makes his remarks. Miss Jean, Marinka, all members of, don't be shy people, this was a success, please come.
Thank you, MC. Our Minister of State for Tourism, the Honorable Chiwanda, Chairman UTB, Honorable Dowdin Gereko, the President of UTA, Ms. Paul H. Kakoza, the CEO of UTB, Madam Milia Jarova, and the Deputy, Rupert Ocheng, our keynote speakers the world over. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to close this conference. I'd like to thank everyone for a successful Poverty 2021. And to thank once again the UTB for inviting yet again the private sector to participate in the organization of this expo so as to help us reboot, reconnect, and recover our businesses and tourism in the Pearl of Africa. You have demonstrated that MICE has a place in the future of tourism in this country. UTB, you have spoiled us with your generous hospitality and impeccable organization. To fully sponsor Poverty 2021 at no cost for the exhibitors, at a time when the private sector is struggling to recover from negative effects of COVID-19, is not something we take for granted. I am tempted, Mr. Bradford, to ask that you do the same for us next year at Poverty 2022. I am most grateful to all the speakers over the past 3 days. These, I'll mention some of them. Tess Pros, President of SITE Africa Chapter. Tess, through SITE, has offered free entry membership into SITE for the Uganda MICE companies. This is the best organization for anyone who may want to join the MICE space in this country. We have free membership for anyone who would want to join. I'll be available to advise on how for whichever country wants. We had the Honorary Consul and Representative of Uganda in Bavaria, Mr. Wolfgang. We also had Chris Meyers, the CEO of the Africa Travel and Tourism Association. We had Judy Kefa, Director and Lead Consultant, Sustainable Travel and Tourism Agenda. We hosted Evin Ndlovu, Community Development Specialist. We had Jost Newman, Head of Economic Development, TUI Care. Michael Simmons, Social Trinity. Omu Obliro, Luxury Events Planner from Nigeria. We had Thomas Dreschler, Jürgen Slazler, and the various Avia Reps comrades who are now responsible for marketing Destination Uganda in UK, Ireland, Gulf states, China, Japan, Austria. That was a really great team up. We also had Alan Senyondo from PSFU. And of course, the Uganda experts. We had Lily, our CEO. We had Amos Wekesa from Great Lakes. Amos offered to speak to us on his birthday when he should have been with family. We had a pleasure to be with Dennis Ntege, Raft Uganda, JP Bittencourt of Sheraton, Barbara Dosso from MICE Uganda, Peter Kagwa from Iwaki and Events Warehouse, Alan Ampire from Serena, Claire Mugabe from the UTB, and I'd also like to thank the chairs and moderators of all the workshops, including Talent Africa. Just as importantly, I'd like to thank the participants, the exhibitors, hosted buyers, and attendees at large for their remarks and interventions which have made this conference such a success. As private sector, we had the opportunity before the expo to hold conclusive and positive preparatory and brainstorming meetings, and we will continue consulting and engaging as long as this working arrangement continues to unfold. This is a very welcome development, and we will support you as UTB. Our time here together at Poverty is a very precious moment, very precious on our annual calendar, and we must therefore get the most out of our Poverty Expos. We have to start on schedule. We have to focus on the most important priorities. Let's work together to do even better next time. We want to be the best in the region. As we go forward, I would encourage closer collaboration with Uganda's private sector. This should be on the key initiatives in the industry. The business community is always eager to get involved, and more importantly, they are critical partners in creating opportunities and building the prosperity our country's tourism and investment opportunities and needs. Let me quickly recap some of the key messages that we've had over the past 3 days. First, it is important that we don't forget the lessons of the past. There are no shortages of pandemics like COVID-19 on the horizon, and there'll always be challenges. Uganda on the global front has done very well in managing the spread and impact of COVID. But that is an isolated plus. We need a harmonized response to pandemics and safety as a region. We need a harmonized response to these pandemics. I'm talking Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, so that we can all enjoy regional visitors. For example, Uganda did well, but the neighbors, Kenya and Tanzania, are having a new wave, and therefore they are closed, or at least many parts of their countries. The effect has been that tourists who plan to visit the region in May and June as a circuit are canceling trips. They're canceling all their visits into Uganda because the Kenya and Tanzania sections of their trips cannot happen. Our businesses will continue to close because of unharmonized responses. What if the regional governments designed a response that is collective in collaboration? Second, that virtual and hybrid meetings are with us and will continue for a long while. We now know that it is possible to close business deals without meeting physically, even though travel has always been a part of us. Uganda Airlines. We have learned that our birds will soon take direct flights into Heathrow. I think that should be about June 2021. That will improve our conversion rates, but we implore you to develop domestic routes into our countryside so that the cost of doing business can be reduced. What use is a national carrier if it does not improve and simplify our businesses domestically? Technology. We'd learned that we have to harness new innovations in technology as it will make businesses compliant with the modern post-COVID age. Social media and Zoom may soon take over the communication space, which is key to tourism. The issue of skills development needs to be addressed so that as our businesses recover and reboot from COVID, our business and leisure guests will find the Pearl of Africa still a dream destination and with first-class service. We cannot emphasize more the importance of association memberships. Incentive and corporate sectors will be key in reigniting recovery for MICE and leisure tourism. We need African solutions for domestic problems. Domestic tourism has, after all, kept some businesses alive, especially those that were able to adapt to change very fast. Powati 2021 has given us a platform to engage with hosted buyers and to make collaborations. It does not stop at the first meeting. We need to continuously engage as many times until the deals come through. Implementation and belonging will seal these partnerships. Finally, an issue that deserves more of our attention is revisiting the true value of Destination Uganda's legacy as a lasting impact. Branding Uganda needs to take the lead in partnership with like-minded private sector players government, and global organizations in the tourism agenda on our country, because it affects all of us directly. Showcasing the true legacy of our destination, including the vast Lake Victoria, culture, food, and national parks, will allow us to get the most out of our country's assets. It will allow us to contribute to better management of our agriculture and tourism sectors, and it will allow us to support efforts to mitigate employment and livelihood challenges that have been occasioned to us by COVID-19. The success of Powati 2021 indicates that this annual event continues to sail smoothly. During the expo, the most frequently used words were reboot, reconnect, and recover. As the meeting is drawing to an end, we can say without exaggeration that it is a meeting of great reconnection and rebooting. And so is the sincere hope that Uganda tourism sector, which was most hit by the pandemic, will bounce back stronger and better. We can now start planning for Powati 2022 in high spirits. I want to thank the committee that worked with me to deliver such a great event. I wish that you could give them a hand clap. And finally, I wish you all a safe journey home, and I look forward. Wow. Thank you. I'm going to ask everybody to introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mebo Nawitosi from Uganda Wildlife Authority.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm called Naria Brenda from Uganda Hotel Owners Association.
Hello, Jean Biamgisha, CEO, Uganda Hotel Owners Association.
Ajena Jaffa, Digital Marketing Officer, Uganda Tourism Board.
UTB, Claire and Wilfred. If I must say, you've got a great asset in the young man. He delivered very well on all the IT platform challenges that we had. If you lose him, we shall take him to the private sector. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a safe journey home. And I look forward to the success of the next Powati 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mwanja, for those remarks, and thank you, the rest of the team that worked with him as members of the organizing committee, and we look forward to working with you come 2022.